Hello, kindly people of YouTube, Punk Rock Fairy Princess here, and we're gonna do a recap, explained thing for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 3, Fear and Loathing on the Planet of Kitson. This episode takes place almost entirely in space, the story alternating between Daisy, Gemma, Piper, and Davis, and Fitz and Enoch. In the first scene, we see a bounty hunter receive an alert, and we find out that Fitz and Enoch have quite the bounty on their heads. The bounty hunter uses a teleportation device, like the one we saw in the trailer, and disappears. Let's start with Enoch and Fitz. They arrive on Kitson, and Fitz is letting the crew go. However, they turn against him and Enoch, taking the snails and the ship. They threaten to turn him in because of the bounty, and turn Fitz and Enoch out of the ship and onto the planet. Kitson is a planet of casinos and brothels, apparently, so Fitz and Enoch decide to go try and win some money. We get a bit more personality for Enoch in this episode. He's actually having some fun on this journey. Fitz is decidedly not. In his time spent with Fitz, he thinks of him as his friend. Fitz is more focused and serious and is starting to lose a little bit of hope. They arrive at the House of Games, and although there are no robots and synths allowed in, Enoch gets through. Enoch is a chronicom, which means he's a synthetic semi-robotic being. However, his technology is so advanced that he's able to slip through the sensors. Enoch is good at gambling because he's basically like a computer. It can calculate odds. He does very well and seems to be having fun. However, while he's good at calculating odds, he's bad at reading people and loses everything because someone bluffs in a game that seems similar to poker. He and Fitz argue. Enoch suggests they try to work for a brothel to make money. Fitz vehemently disagrees with this plan, so they decide to try a new game. However, Fitz is the collateral, so if he loses, he will be sold. Enoch will communicate what he has to do with whistles in a frequency that only Fitz can hear. However, after a little while, Enoch shuts down, leaving Fitz on his own. A blaring signal starts coming from Enoch, alerting everyone to the presence of a robot or a synth in the room. Everyone is evacuated from the room except for Fitz and Enoch, who are locked inside to wait for Mr. Kitson. Fitz manages to reboot Enoch, and Enoch realizes that he was remotely overridden by the bounty hunter, who turns out to also be a chronicom. This means that he has been decommissioned, and he becomes very discouraged. We discover that not all chronicoms are anthropologists like him. There are also hunters, which is what the bounty hunter is. While Fitz tries to get them out, Enoch has a bit of an existential crisis until Fitz helps encourage him, saying that he's his best friend, something he denied earlier in the episode. Now, with Daisy, Gemma, Piper, and Davis. They arrive in Narrow-Atzia, and the team tension is palpable. Gemma is desperate to go get Fitz, but she did disobey Daisy's orders, and Daisy is the team leader. Piper and Davis demand that she gets locked up so they can go back to Earth and regroup. They decide to head right back to Earth, but have to stay a while to have their ship inspected. As this happens, Gemma mentions Fitz, asking the inspector whether he has seen him. The bounty hunter appears at the mention of Fitz and attacks them. Davis manages to knock him out, and they tie him up. They interrogate him, and he tells them that Fitz was bound to arrive on the next ship. The bounty hunter knows about Fitz's death and talks about how he shouldn't be alive, which is presumably why he is hunting him. The inspector tells them that the ship that Fitz was supposed to be on didn't land in Narrow-Atzia, but continued on to Kitson. We then return to Kitson, where the Savosian crew is getting ready to leave. Someone has been trying to contact the ship, presumably the S.H.I.E.L.D. team. Daisy and the crew arrive on the ship and find out from the crew that Fitz and Enoch are on the planet. However, before they go to find them, Daisy, Gemma, and Davis eat the candies that Enoch warned Fitz about in the beginning of the episode. While Davis and Piper stay with the Zephyr, Daisy and Gemma go to the House of Games. As they get there, they start to feel weird and basically get very high off of the candies. They first think it's the atmosphere and decide to go on with the search. Although I know it's because they're high, it's nice to see them happy together. They have a self-proclaimed ladies' night and kind of get distracted from their initial goal. On the Zephyr, Davis is very high, and Piper is very done with him. She decides to go to the planet because Davis is incapacitated. The bounty hunter escapes. When Piper returns, she finds the bounty hunter trying to contact someone through Zephyr's system. Either that or he is currently decommissioning Enoch, or both. Daisy and Gemma are just generally adorable together and get a bit weepy. Then they start to hear the blaring signal from Enoch. A group of bounty hunters arrive from the House of Games, and Daisy fights them off, telling Gemma to go find Fitz. Enoch and Fitz manage to get the door open. Fitz steps out, and he and Gemma see each other. But then the bounty hunter appears using his teleportation device, grabs Fitz, and vanishes again. In the final scene, we are on Earth with Jacko and Sarge. Sarge shoots his giant gun, making a sort of shield sensor thing around the Earth. They seem to be trying to locate some things or some people. and the S.H.I.E.L.D/sensor is able to find them. I really like how this episode focused on the relationships between the characters. We got Fitz and Enoch bonding and cute moments between Gemma and Daisy. We also got more of Davis and Piper, so that's always lovely. Anyway, like I said before, I hope there aren't too many of these, oh no, they just missed each other moments because, well, I love me some angst. I hope it doesn't go on for too long. Fitzsimmons deserve to have some happiness. Anyway, I realize this is much later than I usually try to post these recap things. I'm excited for the next episode, and yeah, thank you for watching. I will see y'all later. Bye!